All right, I'll get right into it here. I'm thinking I got the thumbs up, so thumbnails up, but all right. This is the hidden formats that I'm posting. Oops, I forgot, and yep. Hold on, I gotta change my layout here. Whoops, yeah, if I get rid of this. No, how come it's not showing? How come it's still showing? Okay, there we are. All right, I've been making some reaction videos, so sorry about that. Didn't even recognize the difference. Anyways, the 4-verse information was just above my head, so I've got to also apologize for my mic. I know it's humming in the background real low. I ordered another one, but not going to be here for another week and a half maybe. So this is the format, and what I've found out is it needs 2 major words and then connected with the least amount of words between them, although there's not much here to show it except for this A here and the word from. Now, then a 4-verse, hey, you popped up there today pretty fast there. Let's see, gain followers. No, thank you. I'm trying to be honest. I've actually picked up 5 more followers on YouTube there. So, but glad to have you on board. This here is going to be the 4-verse that starts out, and the 4-verse will be where it has a comma and a period. They connect together to make a longer sentence, and this is a small paragraph. And then when I find another like one, they actually connect to make a larger paragraph. So what I do is usually start mumbling and walking through the program here, and I guess I should say I put all these books together here that have the real story. Don't need lamentations, don't need all that kind of junk that doesn't have anything of the story of the tribes. So what I've done is I put all these books together, and I'm hoping to have a final completed version here. I'm thinking within 2 months. Now, I think what I was doing here, I checked this already, so I might be down a little bit farther. Yeah, because right here it changed from, no, yeah, I haven't done this. This is a 3 or 4 verse here. And this changed to a 3 verse right here. And like I said, when they're changing stories, that will happen. So this would be one subject and then maybe another subject. And should have a space between it to show that's the 3 verse. 3 verse, it's a statement and then a description of that statement. I like this style of writing. Not all of them write as good as the others, but that might have been at different times when they wrote the text. So, yeah, I've already edited this, so this means Joram is his youngest and did evil in Wivey's sight. Okay, now this goes with the 3 verse, and now it's going to jump back. But notice that this was coming from Kings 1:3, and there was no parts. This is all that I got. And I can jump all the way down to 1 Kings 16, part 3, and it actually kind of goes together. So, for he married Jezebel, the daughter of Eth, and served Raz, and worshipped Asherim. Therefore he made altars for Asherim, and they built them in Samaria, rejecting Wivey. This is part of the 12 commandments. Let me see here. I can shut this off so I don't have extra running on my CPU. 12 commandments, bring them up. Here's the 12 commandments, and I'm thinking about still editing those because I see my name in vain. It really should be worthlessly. So I think this word's going to get changed, but they're the 12 commandments. Now, for not obeying them and rejecting them, this is going to send them away off their promised land. Now comes 2 Kings 5, and Naaman, a captain for the army for Sinhadad. Hey, don't blame me. I can't pronounce these names. But this is the king for Aram, and that's the only way I could get it. I don't want it to be said king. I want his name to appear first, and then the king is down here, so we'd understand it was a king. So he was a great male, and his king respected him because Naaman had given him victories, but the male had leprosy. So that should be a map I've got to tell us about what time or how the situation should look, and give an idea of the timeline. And this is what I've come up with, that Lebanon has fallen, and this guy can attack from this area now and come down here in attacking here. Now there is a city here that's going to be mentioned that they're going to fight for or battle, and then Jehu is going to be anointed king, and he's going to come and kill this guy and his wife Jezebel. So that's where the story is at right now. Now the Armenians had gone out raiding and had taken captives a woman from Naphtali. So that's kind of like what I was pointing out here, that they could come down through here. So there was a raid going on, and I kind of picked Naphtali. I figured the river here, they had to come back over at this here, but this here road here is the main highway that goes all the way through Jerusalem, that was traveled by a lot of merchants, and from after Noah's time this road had been built up. So I put it on this road to say that they just raided. Easier for them to come right back when you do a raid. Now, she became a servant to Naaman's wife, and she said and I don't have her name, if your husband went to our prophet, who is by Samaria, he would cure his leprosy. And his wife told him, and Naaman went to his king and said, this was said by my wife's servant. And their king said, I will send you now, and I will send a letter to King Joram. He left taking him. And King Joram, and he left taking with him silver and gold, and he brought the letter to King Joram. Now here I had to add all this text, but it was kind of weird because this was like missing for the groups. So that was perfect timing, I guess. But when you what I had to do is I had to put it at the gate. He gave the letter to a guard to give to their king. Give it to, and oh yeah, okay, this is their king. I guess I'm trying to see if that's written in first person, if you would say our king. At that gate he gave the letter to a guard to give it to our king. It was his request from their king. Yeah, that's what's got to change here. This has got to be our king to be first person. And it has to be from their king. I think I've got that read right. At the gate he gave the letter to a guard to give it to our king. It was his request from their king, and he had the letter read to him, saying, I have sent Naaman my servant to you, for you to heal his leprosy. And this happened when Joram heard the letter. He tore his robe and said, Am I his creator, that his king is sending him to me for me to heal a male with leprosy? Is sending him to me to heal a male with leprosy. Wow. I've got like a 250 watt LED light to light me up here. That's kind of why I got the shine on my glass. I forgot to move them down a little bit. Or angle them so you can see me. Is sending him to me to heal a male with leprosy. And to his advisors he said, Consider and reason, why is he seeking an argument against me? And Elijah sent to him, saying, Send him to me, and you will know there is a prophet in Israel. Now this is right after, I believe, that Elijah was taken up into the third heaven, our heaven, where the birds fly. So he must have got the announcement that he's no longer around, but he doesn't really trust the new prophet. Okay. So Naaman followed his attendant with his horse riders, and then stood at the doorway of the home for Elisha. And Elisha shouted to him, Go and wash in the Jordan River, and your skin will be restored. And your skin will be restored. I guess that's a good enough word. But Naaman was disappointed, and as he traveled on the road, he said, I thought he would have come out to me and stand by me and call out to Yahweh their creator and wave his hand and heal my leprosy. One of his men came and said to him, If their prophet told you to do greatness, would you not have done it? How greater is it when he says to you, Wash and be restored? So he went and washed in the Jordan River, and according to his words, his skin was restored. When he returned to Elijah's home, he stood at the door and said, Now I know there is a creator of everyone. Please take silver as a gift from me. Now he brought down both gold and silver, so this must have been, this gold would have been to the king. The silver would have went to the prophet, okay, or to heal him. So that's where I'm seeing why he took silver and gold. But Elijah said, I will take nothing, but he asked him again, and again he refused him. Then Naaman promised, Your servant will no longer offer sacrifices to other gods. and in this matter let Wyvie pardon me, when my king goes into our temple and worships there, and I bow myself, let Wyvie pardon me in this manner. And Elijah said to him, Go in peace. So he departed to him, and was not a far distance. Jihah, his attendant, I got to recheck that name throughout all the text above. It's almost like I've done this text before. But I did find a few things that I had to re-edit, so forgot to hit the save button. Thought his Lord, by not receiving silver, he will take some from him. So Jihah pursued Naaman, and then Naaman saw him running towards him. Then he met him and asked, What is it? And he said, My Lord has sent me to ask you. Just now men came to him. Please give them pieces of silver. And Naaman said, Please take 10 silver, and he gave it to the men. To give it to the men. Take 10 silver and give it to the men. So he took it from his hand, but he did not give it to anyone. Then he went in and stood before Elijah, and Elijah asked him, Where have you been? Jihah said, I went out walking. Then he said to him, My mind went with you, and you met with Naaman and received silver. Therefore his leprosy will be given to you forever. So he went out from his presence with leprosy on his arms. And Elijah picked to be his next attendant, and he lived with Elisha. Yeah, I know I just put that in. So, okay. After a scene was battling with Israel, he counseled with his captain, saying, Here by the road is a place we will ambush Joram. And okay, now that was the map that I was saying that they're going to be battling. So in the text, just keep in mind that it would be like somewhere along this area here, because this is a steepness right here. It might look small. This area might look small, but it might be 600 feet below sea level, and then this is like 10,000 feet above sea level. Okay, so I don't know if it's 10,000, but it's awfully high, because the hill country over here, the highest hill I think is like 18. So the majority of them are 14 to 16, the heights of the hills. So when you're thinking about where is it going, well, they had to have a way to get back and forth from Gad. And anybody up here on the surface, it would be easier to go down through this ravine. Okay? So I'm thinking that it would be this area here, or the road or the bridge to cross it would be here, or the bridge across here to get here. But now that Aram owns this, there's got to be another road here, because I actually have text saying where these roads exist, and then it's my best guess that they have to go from one place to another. So this is where the situation is at, and gotta check that. Okay, spamming me. Saying there is a road by the place. Saying here by the road is the place we will ambush Joram. And Elijah sent his attendant to Joram, telling him to beware and do not pass by this place, for the Arameans are there. So King Joram sent to that place to learn that they were there. I have a map. So that's the map that I'm going to try to make a little bit more precise. Now, Sin was enraged at Joram, for he did not pass by any more. So he asked his captains, "Tell me which one of you is for the king for Israel?" And Naaman, his captain, answered, "Not from us, my lord and king. It was Elijah their prophet who told the king for Israel." So he said, "Go and find where he is, and I will send you to bring him to me." Then he told them where, and he sent him and his horse riders, and they came at night. So now you know that it was easy to go back and forth, and they weren't, so they didn't really have like set up guard posts, or they went around that area and they went through the Jordan on their horses. So because I'm not sure how deep the Jordan was back then. So either that or they had made a bridge for them to cross on. But anyways, or they would have crossed over their bridge. That's what it is. I'm not thinking. This bridge they would have went across. So then they would have probably, because this is a ramp going up the side, so they probably traveled along the road as much as they could. This was in sight of the guard from here, so they probably stopped, went around here, and then they'd have to go to here. Now that's interesting because I can't have it that way. I believe he's along this side of the road here. And I gotta watch when I do that because he's got to keep going back and forth on this road, back and forth to another city, because a woman's going to actually set up a place for him to stop in and eat with them and then sleep with them. So, or to stay the night. And he went with his attendant, and when his attendant went out to pee, that's the only word I could think of why he would get up. So he saw the riders and asked Elijah, "What will we do?" Elijah answered, "Do not fear, for angels are with us." Then Elijah asked Wivey to open his eyes, and Wivey opened his attendant's eyes, and he saw the angels. Then Elijah asked Wivey to cause them blindness. So Wivey caused them to have blindness according to his word, according to his words. Then Elijah said to them, "He is not here, nor are you in his city. Follow me, and I'll bring you to the male you seek." And he brought them into Samaria. And it happened when they came into Samaria. So brought them to Samaria, and it happened when they came into. Yeah, I guess I got ahead of myself. I do like the word "to" there. That Elijah asked, "Why would you open up the eyes of these men to see?" And why would you open their eyes, and they saw and knew they were in Samaria. Then when Joram saw them, he asked Elijah, "Am I to kill them?" And he answered, "No, they have been taken as captives." Said, "No, they have been taken as captives. Set bread and water before them, that they may eat and drink. And after they had eaten, he sent them away from the land for Israel. This happened after he returned, that Sin the king gathered his army and went into Israel and surrounded Samaria. And when Joram was walking, a woman cried out to him. It's a fortified city, by the way, saying, "Help us." But he said, "If Yv does not help us, how can I help you?" And it came about after the king tore his robe, then he wanted the head of Elijah, and it will not remain on him by night. So he sent his messenger to Elijah, asking, "Does Yv see this distress, or am I to wait from Yv even longer?" Okay. Then Elisha said to him, "Listen to the words said to me from Yv. Tomorrow about this time at the gate for Samaria, there will be men at the gate entrance, and they said to each other, 'Why do we sit here until we die?'" Now this means that the city is surrounded. But Elijah now has to live really close. But it's going to be outside the city. Because if they're surrounding this, and these guys are feeling helpless that they can't break the barrier, this means I got to make sure he lives awfully close to the city. Because I'm not sure if I got a... No, I don't have a scale of a map here. But I think it's... I don't think this is more than a mile. Like you would surround them by a mile. Let's see here. So this is where I'm talking right about in here. Yeah, it's got to be within a mile that they're surrounding the place, which makes sense. But I'm just thinking, where are these guys that are talking? They're going to be by the gate, but they got caught in the land, and then it means that they've been surrounded for a few days and they're starting to get hungry. So that's not in the text, but that's got to be assumed from the text. Okay, if we enter and the city has a famine, we will die in there. Therefore come, let us approach them at the camp for the Armenians, and if they spare us, we will live as captives, or they will kill us. They were pretty hungry. In the evening they went to the camp for the Armenians, and there was nobody. I can't add the word there because I got it here, but there, maybe if I put a comma to slow me down. In the camp for the Armenians, but there was nobody. And they had left their tents in their camp just as it was, like a running for their life. So these men entered a tent and ate and drank. Then they said to each other, "We are not doing right, for this day is for good news, and we cannot keep silent, and we should not keep, and we should." And we should not keep silent. So they went and called out to the gatekeeper's tower, and then told them, saying, "We went to the camp for the Armenians, and we saw no one was there." The gatekeeper went and told the king's guards this. Then they went to the king and woke him up in the night, and they told him the news, which they were probably getting, yeah, because that woman called out to the king, so they had to be there at least a week. The food would have to be run out. Then he told his advisors, "I will now tell you what the Armenians have done to us. They know we are hungry, therefore they have gone from the camp to hide themselves in our fields, saying when they come out of their fortress, we will capture them alive and get into their fortress." But one of his advisors said, "Please send men to know the truth." And he sent his guards to the Armenians' camp, saying, "Go and look around." Then they also went to the Jordan and saw on the road it had discarded equipment. Okay, so turn it off. I shouldn't have done that. Okay, now we know that they didn't take this. They came across here. So from Gad, they have a way to get across. Their camp would have had to have been here, all the way to the Jordan, here. So they could have set up camp on this road, blocked it off, and the river would have trapped most people. And it's got to be a ravine going down some. So now they have to put a bridge in here. Now you got to remember, all these bridges that I'm putting in are bridges that John the Baptist is going to go proclaiming Jesus is alive. Their king is here. Our king is here. So but I'm thinking, because I know the story of Jehu, he's got to be coming up this, because the guard's going to see him, the rider like it. That's why this Samaria is located here, by the story of Jehu and this guard replying to, or announcing to the king what's going on. So there's got to be a bridge through here. John, to get around this, needs a bridge here to go to here. Because why would he cross this river? He could walk across something. Everything's got to fit in my little head here. I want to make sure that the text is telling us, or telling me, there's places where they should be, and roads where they should be. Then his guards returned and told the king everything they had saw and found. Then their people went out and plundered the camp of the Armenians, according to his prophecy. And why he told Elijah, go to the wilderness to Damascus. Okay, I moved this group here, and I'm not sure if I moved it up or down, because it's been edited, and I'm thinking I edited it before I moved it. And why he told Elijah, go to the wilderness to Damascus. Now here is Elijah going to the wilderness, then to Damascus, which means he's now going to take this bridge across here, go up here, because this is the wilderness, where the desert meets the land that's lush. There's this strip of land where the wind has whipped the trees and a few green leaves, and then there'll be like an island of grass that the tree exists in, and then it's all sand. So this is the wilderness. So he would have went along here. So I've got to make sure I put a road into Damascus here, and Damascus is where I got it over here, so right there. So they most likely had a bridge to go across, but they stayed to the wilderness close by. Okay. Before you arrive, you will prophesy to Hazael. He will be king of Aram. Timeline. Arams. This guy, then this guy, this guy. This guy is at Solomon's time. He returned. And I'm getting, this is where I'm at now. So I've got 24, let me just say 40, 40, 55, 70, 80, 90. And I can use the full 11 because this is, so I got Sin here, Ben here, and Hazael here. Or not Hazael, but Huram Hadid. Hadad. Dabbed. Okay. And this guy's gonna kill this guy. So that's okay. So yeah, it shortens his life up some, I would say. Cut short. Okay, then Elijah came back to Damascus. Then as Elijah came into Damascus, and Sin was sick, and his guard told him, saying, Elijah has come here. As the king was told, Hazael his son took a gift. And met with Elijah for him to ask why well, wait a second. Yeah, the king is talking to him, so this has to be the king's word. As the king, it has to be then their king told. Elijah has come here. Then their king told Hazael his son, take a gift. Well, I got that wrong. Take a gift and meet with Elijah for you to ask him. No, for him to ask Wivey. Okay, I think I got that right. Give, like, they were paying their priests to get information from their gods, the way I'm seeing this. Ask Wivey while I recover from my sickness. So Hazael went to meet him, and with a gift in his hand, he's the gift in his hand. And as he stood before him, he said, I'm going to say that's the right guy. Now, as he's saying it like this and said, stood before him, he said to him, stood before him, said to him, Sin, our king for Aram, has sent me his son to you to ask why will I recover from my sickness. And Elijah told him, go and say to him, you will surely recover. But Wivey has shown me he king will certainly die by what you will do. But Wivey has shown me. This would be him talking to Hazael here. So this is what's going to be part of this. So, okay, yeah, I'm just worried about the word he. Is that being used right? But he asked him, then Hazael asked him, what am I to do? Will it be a great deed? And Elijah answered him, he only told me, you will be king for Aram. Then Hazael departed from Elisha and returned to his father, who asked him, what did Elijah say to you? And he answered him by saying, you will surely recover, and you will also die. On the next day he took a cloth and dipped it in water and covered his face so that his father died for him to become king. I don't need this here. Okay. This I've taken all out for some reason. Can't remember. Oh, I moved it. I must have had other text that was better than this, so I said it's time to get rid of the doubleness of the text. That's how I'm seeing this. This was moved up. But this is all 8 point. Yep. says he's already dead, so this better be moved up. Okay. This I moved. Where did I move it? Oh, that's bad. I got text that I moved and I didn't note it. Everything else has been noted, I believe. No, I don't. Um, I don't know. Can I search 2 words? No, I gotta search down first. Oop. Is that the beginning? Nope. That means I've got it already tucked away. Edit it. So let me get that book out. Here it is. So I gotta say I moved it up. Up. I got 2 stories. Okay, should have 8 someplace. What do I got? Move up. So this has actually been separated here. Move that one and then move this one. These are 2 stories. Okay. This is the 3rd story. Okay, so this has got to be. Let me search this. And this text. It should be actually down. Okay, now what do I have here? I didn't. So it means to do this correctly, this is 3 stories. 1, 2, 3. This has got to be changed. Maybe I'm thinking more text goes in there when I was reading it. Okay, so now frist. It's 4 stories. And I've got to show that, so this I got to just put black. That's noticeable. Now I got to go down here. That's 1, that's 2, that's 3. This is 4. Wow. 1, 1, 2. Now, wait a second. It turned into only 3 stories. How come I got that wrong? This would be the second one. This would be the third one. Well, well, well. Okay, obviously, I get dumber as the day goes by. Maybe that's a different story. That's what I'm thinking now. Okay, that's 2. No, that was all 1. This has to be black. Mm, 3, 3, save. Okay. Now, this group went up to the top where I put it because I put 3 verse here and I put a space here. So that was moved. This would have been moved with that text. So it was 2 groups here. So it's, 1, 2. Now this group was moved up. That was moved up already. So I'm going to take all this text that I've got here. And say, copy this. And say I'm going to stick it all right here. Save that. Now I should be deleting all this and starting here. And I only have 150 more pages to go that are 22 inches long. Oh. They've been spamming me pretty good here for a while. So let me see if I can shut them off, and I gotta find new numbers. Should check the weather. I forgot we got a hurricane in Cuba. So that's why we got storm out here. Oh, my brother's gonna call me back. $7:30. Oh wow, he's up in Philly. Okay, it should at least tell him okay. Okay. That was about an hour ago. He finally found the message. Okay. So this I don't need anymore. I'm going to just close it. But I save my work all the time. So I'm going to copy this, but I'm only going to paste it to my thumb drive. Place the old one. And not the one that I've got on my E drive. No, my F drive. E drive is the one I'm on. Okay, I'm thinking that that's only been, oh man, I gotta spread this out. This I've been an hour. I thought it was more than that. Let me see how bad the storm is because I know everything shuts down over here. I get one lightning strike and it's like wow, we got storm warnings all along the coast. But I don't know if this is a major hurricane or not. I might be evacuating. Hold on here a second. I'm not seeing numbers. It's supposed to be the numbers. How bad is it? Well, I guess wind speeds of it. What are those? Well, 60 by Sunday, but that'll be past us. 45 to 30. Okay, so that's what's going on. Just normal high winds we got here. But I got to send that off. Okay. And I got to call my ma here. So bear with me. All right. I didn't know we had a hurricane going by, but it's high winds, not so much. So we're going to have high winds for the next couple days around here. Sunday it's supposed to go by. So this is Saturday. So let me see something here. This is Saturday. It said Sunday it should be up by Tampa. That's flying by, but it's only at. When you live in a hurricane area, you learn these things. Why is that getting reinstalled? YouTube must be updating my YouTube channel here on my iPad. Okay, because it's. Why was I thinking it's. Okay, that's why it was in Cuba a couple hours ago when I first looked. Now we've got all kinds of storm notifications. We still aren't going to get any rain. Doesn't show any rain. You got to have 3 or 4 of these pages. They don't. It's almost like it when it hits land up in Tallahassee area, which is the Panhandle area. It'll be up to 70 miles an hour. Now that's hurricane. I don't know what number, but it's a lower number. But it's supposed to zip by us right now. And how come I don't have all the different trackers? There they are. What happened? But my Fox Hurricane, that is usually really good, is really screwed up lately. Or this one. This one's the worst reporting I've seen. Because I usually have them right next to each other. I had to go. Life in Florida. Okay. Let me see if she's there. I think I'm going to shut it down, and then when my computer goes out, I won't be all offline real quick. That was a short stream. I usually try to do 3-4 hours, so life in Florida, hurricanes, so my power, I'm stuck in the 60s, by the way. This mobile home park, the newest one here is like 69, and it's kind of unique. It's a time